друзі, уставайте, весело гуляйте. Ой, хто пісню загадає, Соловей вам заспіває.
There's no fault, but there is some footage available.
Okay.
I'm actually trying to gather some of it. The latest one that I have is one from the Czerwona Festival 20 years ago. It's actually the anniversary, 20th anniversary is about a week from now. And we went down, or at least part of our band. It was a Solовей and Friends type of a band, and we played at that first festival representing Canada, or one of the groups representing Canada. And so we have some footage from that was actually played on Ukrainian television. So I've got that. And you know what? There's stuff around, but I mean, we have to dig. You know, back in those days, people weren't making a lot of videos and things. So obviously, they got a lot more popular in the last 15 years or so. Always been a bit under the surface, but I think that, I mean, we've been continued playing over the last 35 years. We've continued playing weddings and anniversaries. We've never stopped.
Oh, it's never, okay.
But because there aren't as many dances above us anymore, I mean, that's where people would really see you. I mean, unless you're a guest at a wedding, I mean, how are you going to know that we're playing, right? Unless you're invited there. So we've actually continued playing. We probably play, you know, at least half a dozen gigs a year. And so we've always kept doing that. As far as resurgence goes, I think it's partially demographics. It's like with you know, Beatles and music from that era. You know, you've got the people that age. I mean, you know, they're getting their kids interested in it, or kids are picking up some of these things. You know, so I think that's part of it as well. I mean, it's always going back to roots. I love listening to songs that are playing now, and I love telling my kids, oh yeah, I know that song. And they kind of like, how do you know that? Well, because I listened to it when I was growing up. You know, it's like, and at first they're kind of a little taken aback, but you know, eventually they think it's cool, you know. And so I play them the old version and the revised version and stuff like that, the updated version and the new version. And so it's
jak słońce zajdzie, jak mamy do nieba, a ja sama przyjdę. Jak słońce zajdzie, jak mamy do nieba, a ja sama czuję. I
think one of the biggest changes is the influence of music from Ukraine, because you know, around the 1990, pre that area, I mean, my first exposure to what was really going on in Ukraine and the Ukrainian music scene was at the Czerwona Festival in '88. That's where we just realized that there was so much more to it than the traditional bands that we were used to, even though they were progressive for their time, like Lischyna and Kobza and that. I mean, you know, but they were there was a lot more stuff going on as well. And I think that over the last years we've had more opportunity to see that, and that of course in turn influences bands here. Like I noticed, for instance, that the band from Winnipeg yesterday, I believe their name is Rada,
yeah.
They seem to have quite a bit of influence from a band like Haidamak and some of the other bands, which I think that's obviously a new factor influencing the scene. Whereas, you know, pre this time, I mean, basically the influence has been other bands, other Ukrainian, North American bands, and so it's a different influence now. And it's really cool because it opens the whole thing wide open. absolutely. My father is a great lyricist. He always told me that, he came to Canada, said if he didn't become an engineer, which is sort of the thing to do in those days and a necessity, he was an excellent engineer, but he said that if he had a chance, he probably would have been a writer or a poet, and it's something he really enjoyed and he's good at, and so we collaborated. He would, sometimes I would just come up with a song, a melody, and I would say, find me words that will fit, find me lyrics that will fit this kind of rhythm and this kind of thing, approximately about this kind of a theme, and he would write it. We'd sit down and work it out. He was great, and he fixed my stuff too. Even though my Ukrainian's not bad, but he helped me brush up and polish up stuff. So it's good. I think to all the, first of all, my greatest affection is initially is the people that were playing during our heyday, and all the bands that influenced us, like Lischyna and this Napiv, Veseli, Chase, Ranko, Buddha, like these are bands that we listen to and learn from and develop some of our own style from, and the Ukrainian bands at that time, Smirichka, Kobza, and Sofia Rotaru. I mean, those are people that I really would like to thank and say hello to. Over the years, some of them I have had an opportunity to do that, but they have no idea of Volodymyr Vasuk. I mean, late Volodymyr Vasuk. I mean, if they just knew just what impact and effect they have on people's lives, and maybe they do to some extent, but I would certainly like to thank them for that.
This is what you call a hot fire. Na zoru spoglądają, żyje kraj wykładeczka I tak sobie dumają. Czy wiesz, była ty, czy nie, що часто наклеїстися І помоє, будем погляд, я чую.
Of everything. I mean, I love all the stuff that's coming out. I love Haidumak, Lischyna. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff. And you know what? You make and choose. Some bands, there's songs that I like. I may not be a fan of the band overall or their style, but they just have some really good tunes. There's obviously a lot of talent. I mean, all the bands are highly talented, so it's really cool.
Hey man, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything that you're doing.
Будемо веселиться.